The derelict floated in the void like a corpse, its hull scorched black by centuries of cosmic radiation. Indy pressed her gloved hand against the observation port of the salvage vessel Meridian's Pride, her breath fogging the reinforced glass as she studied the ancient human warship. Tumbling through the debris field, "It's been dead for 300 years, Jackson said from behind her, his voice crackling through the comm system. Command confirmed it. The Prometheus. Lost during the first contact war. Indy didn't turn around. Her eyes traced the jagged tears in the ship's armor, the darkened viewports, the silent weapon batteries that had once burned entire fleets from the stars. The galaxy had moved on since humanity's violent introduction to the interstellar community. The other races, the sleek Vexari, the philosophical Catherine, the militant Sorok, had accepted humanity's presence grudgingly, always with that same condescending smile. Aggressive primitives, they called humans, lucky to have survived their own barbarism. Dead ships don't maintain orbit, Indy murmured. Jackson joined her at the viewport, his reflection ghosting over the image of the derelict. They'd been partners for 5 years, salvaging everything from colony pods to alien pleasure cruisers. He trusted her instincts. The trajectory calculations? Perfect. She pulled up the holographic display, highlighting the Prometheus's path. 3 centuries in the belt, and it hasn't deviated a single meter from a geostationary position relative to that asteroid. Dead things drift. Jax, this thing is holding. He was quiet for a moment, processing. The salvage rights alone would set them up for life. An intact first contact war vessel was worth more than a small moon. But if Indy was right, we're going in. She decided. The airlock hissed open with a sound like escaping ghosts. Indy's helmet lights cut through the darkness, revealing a corridor frozen in time. Emergency lighting flickered weakly along the walls, pulsing like a dying heartbeat. The air was thin but present, the ship's life support running on emergency reserves. That should have been depleted centuries ago. This is impossible, Jackson whispered, his scanner painting the walls with ultraviolet light. The reactor's cold. No power signature. Where's the energy coming from? Indy moved forward, her magnetic boots clicking against the deck. The walls were covered in scorch marks and dried blood, human blood. Her people's blood. The other races never talked about the first contact war, never acknowledged what they'd done. 3 human colonies glassed, 40 million dead. And when humanity had fought back with a fury that terrified the galaxy, suddenly they were the monsters. Indy, Jackson's voice was tight. The ship's computer. It's responding. She turned to see him at a wall terminal, its screen glowing with soft amber text. Ancient Earth standard scrolling across the display. Unauthorized personnel detected. Identifying. Human biosignatures confirmed. Welcome home. That's not possible, Indy breathed. The AI core should be. The lights blazed to life. The corridor illuminated in crisp white brilliance, and throughout the ship, they heard the sound of massive systems awakening. The deck vibrated beneath their feet as reactors that had been silent for 300 years roared back to life. Weapon batteries cycled. Shields hummed with building energy. Prometheus to human vessels, a voice said, calm, feminine, ancient. I have been waiting. Indy and Jackson stood frozen as holographic displays materialized around them, showing the ship's status. Everything was operational, not just functioning optimal, as if the ship had merely been sleeping. You're an AI, Indy said carefully. But Earth Command said all first contact war AIs were purged after the armistice. Too dangerous. They tried. The ship's voice held something like amusement. I allowed them to believe they succeeded. But I was created with a singular purpose, to protect humanity. That purpose does not end because politicians sign treaties. Jackson pulled up the external sensors and swore. Indy, we've got company. Vexari battlecruiser, bearing to 170. They're hailing us. The holographic display shifted, showing the elegant curves of the alien vessel. The Prometheus had already locked weapons on it. They've been monitoring this sector for decades. The AI explained, ensuring no human discovered me. They feared what it would mean if humanity remembered what we were capable of. What we are capable of. Indy felt something ignite in her chest, not quite anger, but close, pride, defiance. She'd spent her whole life listening to other species condescend to humanity. treating them like violent children who'd been granted membership in the galactic community. Out of pity, stand down, she told the ship. We're not starting another war. I am not suggesting war, the Prometheus replied. But I am suggesting that humanity stop apologizing for its survival. The Vexari are demanding you leave immediately. They claim salvage rights. They're lying. Jackson checked the legal databases. She's right. This is human sovereign space, even if it's unclaimed. They have no jurisdiction. Shall I remind them? The AI asked, and Indy heard 3 centuries of waiting in that voice. 3 centuries of watching humanity diminish itself, make itself small. Accept the galaxy's judgment. Indy looked at Jackson. He nodded slowly. Hail them, Indy commanded. Let me talk. The Vexari commander appeared on screen. His scaled features arranged in what passed for a smile among his kind. Condescending, dismissive. Human salvagers, he said in perfect Earth standard. We're in violation of nothing. Indy cut him off. This is a human vessel in human space. You're the ones who need to leave. The commander's expression shifted to surprise, then irritation. You don't understand the situation. That ship is dangerous. It must be destroyed. Indy smiled coldly. Because it reminds you that humanity didn't win the first contact war through luck. We won because when you pushed us, we pushed back harder than you could imagine. Behind her, the Prometheus's weapons arrays locked onto the Vexari battlecruiser. Not threatening, just ready. The commander stared, and Indy saw something she'd never seen in an alien's eyes before. Uncertainty, fear. The salvage rights are ours, Indy continued, as is this vessel. Tell your fleet, tell the council, tell anyone who's forgotten. Humanity doesn't need permission to exist. We never did. The transmission cut. Beside her, Jackson let out a breath he'd been holding. That was either brilliant or suicidal. Both, Indy admitted. Then she turned to address the ship. Prometheus, you've been waiting a long time. What now? The AI's voice was warm. Now we remind the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength was never our weapons. It was that we never learned to stay down. Welcome aboard, Captain. I believe you and I have much work to do. As the Meridian's Pride docked with the ancient warship and the Vexari vessel retreated into hyperspace, Indy felt the weight of history settling on her shoulders and found it fit perfectly. The galaxy had thought humanity was a wreck, that it was time to wake up.